Hello everybody, welcome to my office. As you can see, it's all glamour. Last time I set you a code challenge and I invited you to break this code. And I said that the first person to break this code would win the moderately fabulous prize of a signed copy of the code book by Simon C. Well, a lot of people entered. It was very tense, so tense my hair fell out, as you can see. But we do have a winner, and the winner is Nightmare to You. So congratulations to you, and your prize will be winging its way towards you. And what Nightmare to You realised was the code I set is an example of something called a Vigenere cipher. Now you may be familiar with this type of code, which is called a substitution cipher. This is where you replace one letter for another. So in this example I've written out A to Z at the top, and underneath I've written out the letters in the code. So A becomes P, B becomes K, C becomes B, and so on. So if I write this word here like beetroot, then we get KWWCEHHC. Now to break this code is not too difficult. What you do is you look for the most common letter. So let's say, for example, if E becomes a W, like here, then I will expect W to be the most common letter in the code, because E is the most common letter in English. T is the second most common letter in English, and A is the third, and so on. So you can use this idea to work out which letter is which. There are other things you can do. For example, if you have a double O, like here, so if you have a double letter, it becomes a double letter in the code as well. So these things are clues, and they tell you which letter is which. So you can break this without too much trouble. Vigenere just takes that one step further. Let me show you how it's going to work. To do the Vigenere cipher, first of all you're going to need a keyword. So for example, let's take a keyword to be ghost, okay? Then you're going to write out a message. Let's say it's something like this, which says move to the hill, so very military, and you write out the keyword above it. Ghost, 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 repeated without spaces. Now you need this table, which might look a bit complicated. The first line is just ABC up to Z. The second line is B, C, D, E. I've shifted the alphabet one place across. The third line starts with a C, so it's C, D, E, F. And then the fourth line is D, E, F, G. So I keep shifting the alphabet one place across, and I've got 26 lines here. Now, as you can see, I've highlighted the lines that begin with G, H, O, S, and T for ghost. Now, let's take our message again. Now, this was the message, move to the hill. And what I do is I'm going to use that table. The first letter is an M, so what I do is I go to row G, there's row G, I find column M, and in the middle is the letter S. So this becomes S, like that. Okay, let's do the second letter, so the O. For the O, you go to row H for ghost, you go to column O up here, and you find in the middle the letter V. So they meet at the letter V, and I write that in. Okay, so that's my second letter. Now you keep going, and this is what you'll get. Now notice here, the two L's in hill become two different letters. As well as that, these two W's come from two different letters. They come from an E, they come from a T. So you can't use that trick that we did with the substitution code. So a double letter doesn't necessarily become a double letter in the code. So this is a more difficult code to break. But you can break this too. The way you break it is you look for repeated letters. So for example, the word the here becomes AVW. Now if AVW appears more than once, I can assume that it's the word the, that just happens to be underneath the same three letters of the keyword, the H, O and S. And so it's encoded in the same way. So for the code I set you, that's what we're going to do. this is the code I set you, and if you look, I can find VYC, you see how it begins with the VYC, I can find that, let me see, 4 different times. VYC appears 4 different times. Not only that, but there's this string of letters. You may have noticed this string of letters appears twice. Now, we can use this to break the code. Using or considering the distances, we can work out that the keyword was 11 letters long. Now, assuming that VYC is the word the, we can start to work backwards. We can use this table, we can start to work backwards, and I can get that the first 3 letters of the keyword was CRY. Now, with a bit more toing and froing, you can work out that the keyword was a 11-letter word, and it was the word cryptograph. Using the keyword and the code, you can now completely work backwards and you find the message. And this was the message. And it says, the code you have broken is an example of the Vigenere cipher. That was put in its final form by the French diplomat Blaise de Vigenere. I may have pronounced that wrong. It is an example of a polyalphabetic cipher. In other words, the cipher is constantly changing. As you saw, we kept changing the line that we were using in the table. It's a brilliant code that was first broken by the famous engineer Charles Babbage. You may have heard of Charles Babbage before. Like I say, brilliant British engineer and inventor who broke this code. But when he broke the code, he kept it secret. And the reason that he kept it secret possibly was because of the Crimean War. And so he kept it secret so that we could break Vigenere codes, enemy codes, without revealing that we could do that. And that's how you do it. It's been fun. I will hope to do this again sometime. And as usual, if you have been, thanks for watching.